Hey everybody, my name's Jason Wilson, and I'm the author of Curious About Cannabis, and I wanted to talk to you today about the difference between hemp and marijuana. Now, the first thing to know right off the bat is that hemp and marijuana are ultimately the same plant. They are cannabis. It's not that hemp is a cousin to marijuana or anything like that. They are both cannabis. The primary difference is their chemical profiles. Now, before getting into these differences between hemp and marijuana, I think it's really important that we discuss why the term marijuana is even in our cultural lexicon these days in the first place. So it's important to know that before the 1930s, in the US pharmacopoeia and just in the way people spoke about the cannabis plant, they just referred to it as cannabis. However, in the early 1900s and really coming up into the 1930s, the United States government decided that it wanted to crack down on recreational cannabis use. And really, they wanted to crack down on recreational cannabis use by minorities. And so they used this term marijuana, which was a very foreign sounding term, in order to help spur public interest and outrage about this new demonized drug. So the term marijuana has a problematic history, and we really want to try to move away from that term and recognize that ultimately we're talking about a single plant, cannabis, and that it has different chemical profiles. And so what's commonly referred to as recreational cannabis tends to have higher concentrations of THC, which is one of the intoxicating components of cannabis, whereas what's commonly referred to as hemp tends to have high concentrations of CBD and very low concentrations of THC, which is why hemp doesn't get people intoxicated. And now that's getting a little more complicated as cannabis industries are starting to flourish and recreational cannabis is no longer really being defined strictly by high THC. There's a myriad of CBD-THC ratios in the recreational cannabis space. But that's really the history and the primary difference. And hemp is legally defined as cannabis that contains less than 0.3% THC. So it's really important to understand. But ultimately, hemp and marijuana, they're the same plant. It's all cannabis. And if you want to learn more about cannabis and CBD, you can check out my book, Curious About Cannabis, or you can visit greenearthmedicinals.com. Thanks.